Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. So we are continuing with greatest common factor examples. All right, so you can see I've already got my example up here from Delta Math. So y to the fourth minus x squared y. All right, so now what we have to do is we have to look at each term individually. So we have to look at y to the fourth and x squared y. All right, and this is what we're thinking about. Okay, so y to the fourth is y times y times y times y. X squared is x times y. All right, and so between the two, the only thing they have in common is y, and it's one of them. Okay, the x's are not in both terms, so unfortunately they don't have an x in common. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to divide by y. And again, my greatest common factor is going to go up front, and it should look again like I've reversed the distributive property. I've said that a lot. All right, so 4 minus 1 is 3, so y to the third minus, and you should keep the order. So since x squared was first, you're just going to recopy it. You're going to make no changes, x squared, and then 1 minus 1 is 0, so I'm done, okay, because I don't have to write y to the 0. We don't write that. Okay, so that is my final answer. So y parentheses y to the third minus x squared, close my parentheses. All right, and then I'm going to submit my answer. Yes, and that's all I'm going to do. All right, so let's try one more. Okay, all right, this is a great example to end with. So x to the third, y to the fifth, plus x squared. Okay, so again, you're thinking about what we did here in terms of what do both of them have in common. And both of them, if I were to expand it out, have an x and an x in common. So x squared. All right, so I'm going to divide by x squared. So that's going to come up front. GCF is always in front, parentheses for what's left over. So 3 minus 2 is 1, so x, bring down y to the fifth, plus, okay? Now, I know 2 minus 2 is 0, but if I'm reversing the distributive property, I have to have a placeholder because I would need to be able to multiply x squared by something, okay? Well, what number is in front of x squared? I haven't talked about it because there's no reason to talk about it, but now I need to, okay? Well, there's also a 1. So even though the x squareds have eliminated themselves, there's still 1 divided by 1, which is 1. So you always have to have a placeholder. So one of the things I tell my students is that if you have two terms in the original problem, there should be two terms in your parentheses. Okay, so if I had a crazy problem here where I had a triangle and, no, sorry, let me do this. If I had three terms, so I had triangle plus a square plus a circle, okay? And I had to find the GCF of all of those. Well, in the parentheses, I should have a space for all three spots, okay? So those two things have to match. So if you have two terms here, two terms in the parentheses, okay? That's a must, which means sometimes you're going to be having to put just a plain old 1, okay? All right, so let's type this in and we'll wrap up this video. So x squared parentheses xy to the fifth and then plus 1, close my parentheses, submit my answer, and there we go. Okay, all right, so if you've got any questions, let me know, and good luck.